Hello.
Good evening, Dr. Milton.
Good evening, ma'am.
You have such a soothing voice.
Thank you.
I had such an aggravating morning this morning.
What they do to you?
Well, I'm about to tell you. Yesterday, I received a subpoena to qualify as grand juror.
Okay.
And I take care of a disabled mother and have been for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
I called her doctor immediately and asked for a note to excuse me.
Yes.
Drove there, picked up the note, and as a law-abiding citizen, I went to the county clerk's office first thing this morning and presented them with a note. And they said, well, we are setting up our files for 1983. And she presented me with 4 big pieces of paper, forms to be filled out.
Right.
So I said, well, why do I have to fill these out if I'm being excused now? She said, well, we're just preparing for next year, for 1983. And if you get another notice, then you will come with a note again and we'll have your files ready. I said, but if I'm excused, why do you need the files? Anyway, I didn't want to get into a big argument with her. I just accepted them and went over to the desk and started to fill them out. And, of course, you know these forms with every detail. And when I got to the 3rd page, it said Social Security number. And I got a little bit uneasy. So I thought I would peek at the 4th page. And there was on the 4th page little blocks for fingerprints of all my 10 fingers that I, empty blocks for them to fingerprint. Well, this disturbed me no end. And I went over and I said, I'm not going to have my fingerprints taken. She said, well, you have to. I said, well, when you call me to serve for duty, I will have my fingerprints taken, but I refuse to do it now. She said, but you must do it. I said, I never heard of this. I want to call my attorney first.
And what happened?
She said, oh, well, he doesn't know this law. I said, but I still want to call him. Well, she got a little exasperated. She said, come with me. And she took me to the county clerk's office. And this gentleman started the same story. He said, would you like to sit in a court and have people on the jury who hadn't been fingerprinted and so forth? I said, but I am not ready to serve. I don't mind doing it. I will comply at the proper time.
Well, sweetie, I've served on a number of juries. I've never yet been fingerprinted.
All right, this is for granted. All right, you see, it seemed a little strange to me.
Yes.
And I thought that this was a logical objection. Well, I said to him, this is making me very nervous. I have an awful lot to contend with at home. I have the sick mother, so this gentleman said...
How'd you end up with him? Did they put you in jail?
That was my next suggestion. I said, I refuse to do it. She said, you must. I said, well, then you better put me in jail. So she said, oh, don't be silly. They were behaving so peculiarly. I said, I still...
You want my reaction on this, honey?
Yeah.
One of my favorite expressions is if you ask a silly question, you get a silly answer. If you're dealing with silly people, you get a silly reaction.
Yeah.
What you should have done, you don't argue with people like that. You should have taken those 4 forms, walked out the door, and gone home. That's all you should have done.
I certainly felt like it, but...
Well, see, by sitting there and challenging this lady and challenging the clerk, you're upsetting him. Remember, when a bureaucrat gets upset, they start quoting laws that very often don't exist. So, of course, your objection to being fingerprinted, I think in this case is valid. Whatever it is, you feel that by being fingerprinted, you're deprived of a measure of personal liberty. If you commit a crime and they fingerprint you, that's different. You haven't committed any crime.
That's what I said. I'm not in the police station.
And if they feel without fingerprints they don't want you to serve on a grand jury, that's all right with you, too.
But she kept saying it's the law.
Sweetheart, you ask her where the law is. Understand?
Yeah.
See, what they're trying to do, which is a good objective, they're trying to maybe eliminate people who might have a criminal record from serving on a grand jury. But that's all right. That's their administrative procedure. There's a big difference between a law and administrative procedure, which some county clerk decides to, let's say, follow. I think if you consult your attorney, you will find there is no such law that says you must be fingerprinted.
Yeah, well, I tried to call my attorney right from her desk.
And you'll also find the attorney probably doesn't know the answer.
Well,
he's right for one, not because the attorney's dumb. Remember, no attorney can... It is estimated, sweetheart, that there are over 30 million laws and regulations in this country.
Right.
Who knows all that?
Sure, certainly.
Understand?
Right. Well, I told her, I called my attorney's office, and as luck would have it, he wasn't in. So I said, well, I'll call Monday, and I will come in Monday. So she said, well, even if he says you don't have to do it, you still have to do it. So where do I stand?
Honey, you listen to your attorney, number one, and number two. If you feel that you don't want to be fingerprinted, you will not be fingerprinted. As far as I see it.
Even if it comes, even if I were to serve?
Sweetheart, what they probably will do, if you're called up, they will say, now, if you're not fingerprinted, you can't serve on a grand jury. They might say that. In that case, your answer will be, in that case, I don't want to serve because I don't want to be fingerprinted. You have done nothing wrong to be compelled to be fingerprinted. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, darling.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.